Good morning. I made it by the skin of my chinny chin chin. Good morning, you guys. This Wednesday, we're back for another Creative Entrepreneur Sessions. We have an amazing guest coming in today, professional singer Carolyn. Can't wait till she gets in to share with us about her experience working as a creative entrepreneur, how we met, and we're going to talk about some other stuff. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited. She should be coming in really, really soon. I'm going to do a comment, Leadership Academy. Click the link in bio, you guys. Now, even though I'm talking to creative entrepreneurs across the board, my Leadership Academy works specifically with beauty creatives who are looking to get into entertainment. And so that is the audience. But people behind the scenes know how hard I've been working on this. And so we're going to get her in so we can talk. But for now, I hope everyone is having a really great day. If you are an entrepreneur out here full time and you're running your business today, good luck to you. Even if you're a solopreneur, there are people out here waiting for your services, waiting for you to get the vision together and create the strategy and launch your business. So very excited about that. Let me go get my other phone because I want to make sure she is around so that she can get in this talk. Let me see if I could ping her in here to be like, girl, get in here. I sent that to her. And we're just going to wait a little bit, okay? Again, Latoya Deshawn, let's talk a little bit about my Leadership Academy that I created for beauty creatives. I had such a hard time and during my time of working in entertainment here in Hollywood, I've heard many stories of the creative journey and how we really aren't working in a way that leads us to high-end clients, leads us to working in the entertainment industry on a more consistent basis. Oftentimes we're just taking jobs to say that we did it so that we can say we're that artist that we're still working up to be. A lot of times we're lowballing ourselves. We don't know such things as an industry rate or a base rate that we should be charging out here. We don't know how to set up our business daily to make sure that we are being successful. There's a lot of reasons why for beauty creatives who desire to get into entertainment, why it has just been a lot of opportunity for that to happen, why it has not happened. So I have created this academy to help counteract that because I also know that women, especially Black women, there's just a hard entry into entertainment. Oftentimes, if we're in that space that we don't have the space to bring another woman on, we have to sort of pay our dues or whatever that means. But we, a lot of times, are unable to fund our own endeavors. So what we know is that sometimes we have to say yes, we have to pay our bills. And a lot of times that doesn't leave enough time to put into our business. Other things that happen is you oftentimes can't even leave your job. You have to stay in a 9-to-5 situation, so you really can't branch out the way that you want to pursue your talent, pursue your passion and skills. So I created this academy to basically say, hey, you deserve, I understand, I see what's been missing, and throughout the space I have not seen a real place for mentorship. We've seen a lot of artists come on, give their history, and we know that it's a unique experience. But the one thing we're not talking about in depth is really how to align yourself with who you are, your purpose in this world, and how that really brings forth a real sustainability for your business. And so that's what I wanted to do. That's what I created with my business. That's what I'm doing right now. And so I help teach other beauty creatives to do the same thing. It's an honor to serve. That is one part of Patent Leather Project. The other part is we assist in the personal and professional development of high-profile celebrities and athletes and whoever else is bombarded by the media. Again, my experience lends itself to being in those intimate moments before they go out and do their jobs. I know what's happening between artists and talent. I know what's happening between artists and management. All these things, I know what's happening between the production companies and when they're giving us our rates. I know the energy of what's happening. I know the talks that we've had. And so this we say no more. We've created a space to say, I'm going to go know where my worthiness is, and I'm going to go towards it. And on that note, I see Carolyn. She's here. So let's get her in to talk about her experiences as an entrepreneur out in these Hollywood streets. So she's coming. Carolyn, where you at? You should be coming in right now. It should say request, and you should be on in there. Let me know. Again, she's a professional singer. Her voice is amazing. Music Carolyn is where you can find her throughout all streaming platforms. And just really, really a great soul when I met her. Such a down-to-earth woman's woman, and that's what I love. So she's in here. I don't know if she needs to jump out, jump back in, or what you need to do, but let me see. How about if I request you, and then you can go in. Yay! You made it!
I made it.
Girl, we on the CP time today.
Listen, we don't just be honest about that thing. This is a week that I have my children, and my mornings literally look completely different.
Yes, I love that you mentioned your children first.
And when I don't, and so I just, there's certain routines that I don't do when I have my kids here. So that's why I'm a little late. I apologize, but thank you for calling me out so we can acknowledge that routines do change, and I think that's probably one of the benchmarks of going with the flow, changing your life, and those types of things is learning how to be agile, right, and learning to change your morning routine. I believe that I'm a different person when I don't have my children because I'm able to go through most of my other things in the morning than when I do have them. And, the idea is that the Black mom is always in control. Her kids do everything she tells them to. There's nothing that goes wrong because she is, that's not what's down.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned your kids because, people, a lot of times people don't have kids in the industry, but you do, and you got 3, you making it happen. And one thing you just said, and that I've been preaching on all of these talks, is flexibility. To really be that in that high profile talent space, you have to be flexible, which is why that we say, hurry up and wait. You better hurry up and be ready. But we might have you might have me waiting a little bit as long as you're ready.
Just a little. So thank you for calling me out.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. I want people to know, tell them who you are, what you do, and how we met.
Okay. I am Music Carolyn. I am a singer, a music licensing professional, and a music business educator. And we met because the makeup artist that I was supposed to use switched up at the last minute. She gave me a suggestion for someone else named Latoya. And I searched on Instagram for Latoya because I was trying to find that person. And I saw Latoya Deshawn, and I said, no, I want that person. Because I am big on purpose. I am big about only being around people who may be aligned with what you do, or at least how you think. And so when I literally saw that everything on purpose, I was like, oh, yes. That's who I am going for.
I love that. I love that. Now, I'm premiering this thing that I told you about, so I'm finally bringing it out to the forefront myself. So just talk to people, tell people just what that experience was like for you getting your makeup done and how it really just transcended beyond makeup.
Yes, I think especially because everything is on purpose, right? We take pictures for a reason. We're delivering or releasing music for a reason. We're representing a business for a reason. And yes, it is to make money, but beyond that, it is to carry a certain message, right? Either a message that we already embody or a message that is an ideal that we're trying to put forth, right? So for me, the message that I'm trying to put forth in my music is that you can be happy, you can be happily in love. And I just want to represent a Black woman who is in love with herself and who is in love with the people around her and that is having fun and enjoying life. And it's not to say that I don't have a story that could go completely against that, right?
Yeah.
But the point is, these are the messages I want to put out there and I want to support. And what I have found is, as I've released this music, the people around me are living this dream with me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's part of, what Latoya Deshawn represents and what we see in Everything on Purpose, right? Is that you want to sit in that makeup chair and feel like you're experiencing what you're actually trying to do with the pictures you're putting out. And I think that's what it was. She gave me the opportunity to say, what are your intentions for this photo shoot? And that was big because I had thought about it, but a lot of people don't usually ask me that as I go along through my day. And so I'm almost sometimes living on the fumes of my own intention setting early in the morning before anyone is up, before the sun is up or whatever. But to be able to speak through that as I was getting my makeup done really helped me walk into the photo shoot with more energy.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it, with more energy and more focused energy, so that really everything about that photo shoot went on without a hitch. Everyone who was in attendance was in good spirits, just everything. And I know that it was part of, because I was able to verbalize my intentions as I was getting my makeup done and as I was kind of going through the routine of getting to the photo shoot. And I thank you for that, Latoya.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I never know what I give. I just know I'm giving. But
Right.
But I really appreciate that, because I wasn't able to go to the photo shoot with you. So
right.
We're also really acknowledging that you had to go step outside, go without me, be on set, and you killed it. Like those images, you just saw your confidence. You had a good team there with you, keep lifting your spirits up.
Yes.
So I'm just that person. I really understand that I'm one of the last people you see before you go do that important thing for your future. That's why I have to talk in future, because you're here to do something for tomorrow. So
exactly.
I can't meet you here today because you're working in, I'm going to assume you're working in vision. So I'm going to meet you at vision,
Exactly.
And that's exactly what that was. And then just hearing your story and everything that went along with it. Again, you mentioning your kids, like the first thing in my academy is behind every face is a story. And that's, it uncovers why we do what we do, the way we walk. So again, you getting on and saying, girl, let me just be honest. I have my kids. Well, the tagline of my business is bringing truth and accountability to life and leadership.
Yes.
So that's how we can rock. We can rock.
Yes. Yes.
And so you brought that, and even now just showing up today, that is why I wanted you here. I wanted someone to see someone who has been around a little bit, right? We've had young people on who are just starting or just a few years in or been in as, since social media still been popping, but you've been doing this before. You've lived a whole life and you're back at it. Talk to the people at what makes you not give up. Yes, everything on purpose, and that's one facet. But before you met me, you were still doing it. So what was it that kept you going despite everything that has happened?
Well, honestly, I think the idea that we keep going is kind of a misnomer. The fact is we do quit. And I think quitting a number of things probably helped me have the life I have now. And when I say quitting, I mean literally intentionally, because people will say, let it go. No, don't let it go. Intentionally stop doing something. Think about how it affects you and intentionally stop doing it. Quit. Don't let it go. Quit it. Remember when your mom used to be like, quit it? You were doing something you weren't supposed to. Stop, right? Not let it go, but stop. So there were a few things that I had to stop that led me to what I am doing now. I had to end my marriage because I was in a place where I did not feel like I could live the purpose life that I had envisioned. And so I had to quit that marriage. It was the marriage. It was not the person. It was not the circumstances. It was not anything that he did or said or didn't represent. It was the fact that the visions weren't aligned, and I had to make a choice that I really wanted to see the vision I had for myself. So that was one thing I had to quit. I had to also quit ignoring my health issues. In June of 2019, I had surgery to remove two very large nodules on my thyroid. That was 2019, but I knew about them in 2017. Okay. And they just continue to grow and it eventually affects my ability to sing. And I had to make a choice. Do I do the surgery? Because it came with the risk that I could not sing after. It came with the risk of I may not even be able to speak. It came with these certain risks. But I knew if I did not remove them, eventually in time, the same things that would have been the result of the surgery would have happened, which is me not being able to speak or even breathe, right?
Yeah.
So making an intentional decision to say, no, I'm going to get the surgery now. I'm not going to wait until it's unbearable. I'm not going to wait and see what happens. I'm going to intentionally get these things out of me because I want healing now, right? So that was another thing I needed to quit. I had to quit a number of my jobs. I am the quintessential hustler, okay? I will work a full-time job, a side job, and another side job to make the money I want to make because I do believe that I have a lifestyle in mind that I should maintain. And I do that not only for my children, but for myself. I grew up in a two-parent household, and we were generally told if we made a list of stuff that we wanted, for the most part, we could probably get most of those things. Now, we weren't asking for vacations back then, right? We weren't asking for, luxurious things, but a tennis shoe here or, a play date here or whatever. For the most part, we were kind of conditioned to believe that if we planned for it, we could probably get what we wanted. And so because I had that mindset, I was always like, well, I want this. Okay, my current salary doesn't do that. Well, then I'll just find a side hustle to make it happen. However, I got to a point where the side hustle and the making of the money was removing my ability to even have free time to enjoy the things that I liked.
Yeah.
And so that don't go together.
Come on.
So I had to literally quit everything. I feel like God told me to say, quit everything. So I was working at Entertainment Tonight for over 11 years. I quit there. I quit a few side hustles that I had that made good money for me because it had trained me to take up all of my free time trying to make money.
Yeah.
And so I had to quit it. And so those things led me to be broke for like the first time in my life.
Yeah.
Quitting those things, but I was spiritually becoming rich by letting go of those things and reworking my vision for my life where time became more important than just making the dollar. So that was a long answer to a short question, but yeah.
I mean, I'm ready to pass the collection plate. I mean, I didn't took the notes. I didn't got the favor. It's time to end. No. You said so many things. I had to start writing because it's like you did my Leadership Academy already. You said something like, I said, write the vision. That's what's in the write the vision and make it plain. What your daddy said is real. It is not real until you write it down. And I bet you when you write it down, you're probably going to get it. It's just the way it is. You said something like I had to quit. Another way to reframe that, and I had to reframe that earlier this year, was it's okay to move forward. Right?
Yes.
It's okay to move forward. I think that really released me too. It releases us to the things that just don't serve us to go find the things that does. So you said that too. Also, we're two spiritual women. I have a leadership, a pyramid of habits, and we start with being spiritually grounded first. And what is the next thing you mentioned? You mentioned your health. Well, health is the next thing on my pyramid because I know that my Black women are overworking themselves, doing too much, and it is showing up in their health. And the fact that you said, I need to do this surgery so that I can still move on with the purpose. Come on. Yeah. That was the preaching right there. So people don't understand, and I'm going to make all my Black women understand that your body is feeling the weight of this world. It's feeling the weight of you not deciding. That's what you kept saying. You said, you know, you said it different ways, but really what you said is I decided. I decided to get out of my own way. I decided to be accountable. I decided to see what was serving me and what wasn't. And I made some, you know, I changed the game for my life, because what was at stake is a life that was not healthy, a life that was not happy, and a purpose that was not being utilized. Come on, the service is over. Come on.
Yeah, and I mean, this is biblical for those who are spiritual and Christian or whatever, but God grants sleep to those he loves. That's in Psalms. Like, you're supposed to be able to sleep. The no sleep crew, y'all not happy and y'all not fulfilling purpose. You might be making money, but you're not happy. And the energy that radiates the actual purpose that you're trying to share, it can't do it with no energy. And I had to figure that out for myself too. I might have been living what I thought was a good lifestyle because I was able to do things for my children, but I wasn't able to be there. Yeah. Does that make sense? I wasn't even present. I was taking them to places I wanted them to be, but my mind was so in so many different places, I couldn't even be present. And so that right there, like, I don't want any sorrow attached to my life. I don't want any, I don't want to intentionally say that I created a life that was strenuous or hard or difficult because of what I'm doing. That's not God's purpose.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
You know, if you're striving for something, that's one thing. That's called growing pains, right? But if every day is a struggle, that's not God's purpose. And so I had to realize that God is not happy about me not sleeping. You know what I mean?
I just love that you say all of that, because you could just tell you've walked this through experience. Like, I can feel it. I know that what you've been through this, right? When I had to stop, when I passed out in a club and then went to the doctor and realized that was the start of my journey in having fibroids, right? And how it has changed my entire life, the social anxiety crept up on me. You know, I have a heating pad. You know, I have to pray to not have pain on certain days. It changes your life. And the one thing you said in the health category, when my leadership habits, the next level is relationships, which is also the third pillar of the company. It all ends with community. You can't be good to nobody if you are not spiritually grounded and your health is, trust me, you're going to go out there in these streets and somebody going to pay for it. That's just the way it is. You know, the other day when I was at Leimert Park and I was walking because my cramps were so bad, the lady wanted to just amplify my beautiful hat. I had to walk away from her, but I had to stop. I said, she probably thinks I'm rude. So I turned around, walked back like a little duck, told her I was in pain. And, you know, but we got to start being honest, because there's support there the minute we get real with how we're showing up in life, right?
Yes, I mean, talk about support. I think, so the reason why I was so clear about saying it wasn't the person about ending my marriages and stuff like that. Some people make us feel like we owe them a certain thing, right? And we become someone completely different with them than we would be on our own. And I realized that I had become a certain person that I did not like in that situation. And it was because I didn't know how to love myself and be with that person. And I don't think they knew how to love me and be in the relationship either. But again, I don't want to speak for that person. But I will just say that was the biggest thing. I realized I don't even know where to start with loving myself and being in this relationship. I have to get out of it so I can learn who I am outside of it. Outside of being a wife, outside of being this person who tries to uphold this marriage, so I can just be me. Let me just start on the bottom, me by myself.
Yep. Look, y'all, I didn't know that Carolyn was interviewing to be a top leader in the company. I didn't know, but I need Carolyn out here. She can sing a song afterwards, whatever she needs to do. But I need Carolyn out here, because if you are not preaching to the choir, you are preaching. And I know what you were talking about. And that's why what I've created in the Leadership Academy, but the framework, which is called Everything on Purpose, it helps you deal with all that inner ego stuff, all that protective stuff that we've been doing for years, that does not serve us, and there's a safe place of women creatives to help you walk through that. And I'm sure you would have loved something like that if that was available for creatives out here to walk in the same way, you know?
Yes, I mean, let me just say, I've been in therapy since I became a mother. I've been in therapy. I knew that I had just changed everything I wanted out of life. Everything changed when I became a mother, and I got a therapist, and I have not had a therapist since then. So in addition to, like you said, some framework, something, a community to help me through this, and a framework to follow to process it. Therapy is important because it goes beyond the doing, and it goes beyond the work, and it literally allows you to become more aware, because you can't do any of the work if you're not aware of your triggers, of your shortcomings, of your flaws, because you have to embrace all of it. It's not okay to try to heal but not acknowledge, well, these triggers are going to actually go against my healing, right? Like, I literally have to wake up and say, Carolyn, these things are your triggers. When people do these things, it reminds you of past hurts. It reminds you of things that you may still have insecurities about. It reminds you that you don't have this or that and you thought you should. And so once you know your triggers, you don't blame it on other people anymore. You don't argue. You don't fight against stuff that's not for you. You're just like, oh, that's my trigger, girl. That happened to me in the past. And so it bothers me, but it actually doesn't affect me anymore because I'm actually headed this way.
Exactly.
And like, that's all it is. They're just little signs that remind you, remember, this kind of looked like what this looked like back then, but I'm not on that path anymore. So I acknowledge that I see that, but that's not what I'm doing anymore.
I mean, I hear you talk. I mean, it's literally the entire course. That's how I know you've been doing this. This is how I know you have experience. Literally, module 1 is behind every face is a story. We have to reflect. You have to know your patterns and what's showing up for you. Module 2 is uncomfortably comfortable. We need to question the life that you've lived. You need to question everything that comes out of your mouth, because it's been a self-deprecating journey, and we're not doing that anymore, right? We're going to sharpen you with really good habits. So again, setting that intention, right? We're going to get in front of your life. And then that module 4 is affirm yourself, because again, we prepare for tomorrow. We stay ready, we get ready. And so we're going to affirm ourselves for the places that we know that we're going to end up. And like you just said, to top it all off, because it feels like you took the class, the academy, but you can't even get into the second pillar. You can't even get into the dreaming zone unless your butt get into some therapy. It has been a requirement for every woman that I have worked with. I do not work with them unless they get a therapist, and they all, for my private clients, they all got a therapist. It's been a game changer in combining the academy and therapy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. I appreciate you so much. Oh my God, I feel like we just preached. We need to do this more. I'm definitely gonna be asking you, do you got some time to make some more money, because it's available?
Let's do it. I mean, that's the music that I just released was called Choose Yourself. The EP I just released, and it's 5 songs where you literally choose your peace, choose your love, choose your joy, choose your element, which is your surroundings and all of that, and you choose your pleasure. And for me, creating that music was a demonstration of how I chose to show up for myself. And I wanted to have songs that represented that for other people too, to choose those things for themselves. So I just want to say that before we get off.
I love that every Black woman that I talk to, our work out here is for the next woman, every last person. So I'm glad you did add that in, because I know you're doing this so that the other woman has a resource, right? And another way to see the way. And so I'm just so happy for you. This is just the beginning for you. We met, and it was on purpose. Before we head out, let people know why they need to get in this academy based off of just how we talked and everything. Let people know why they need to have Latoya Deshawn as the anchor to transformation.
Wow. So I think the most important thing is you need people who see you, and not as a client, but as someone who's a certain place as themselves in a journey, right? If there was a way you can meet Latoya at each point in her journey, you would learn so much about yourself. And I think the Leadership Academy is about showing you these steps, not only to get to where you should be in your journey, but to acknowledge, heal, and accept the person who is on the journey. And acceptance is a huge part of walking through these steps, because you can leave that woman behind once you have healed her, hugged her, and let her be who she was. You can no longer hate on that person who made those bad choices. You can't say that she didn't have this or that. You can't blame other people for her past hurts. You literally have to accept her. And I think the Leadership Academy helps you not only see the person you want to become, but also accept the person that you have been. And we as Black women struggle with that, because we're always told to uphold this high standard of who we are, but we can only become who we want to become if we accept who we've been. And I think that's a huge part of the Academy too. So y'all hook up into the Leadership Academy, the Panletta Project, and do the work and enjoy it.
Look, I try not to drop a tear because the tissue is not around, but guys, I did not pay her to say it. I did not at all. Absolutely everything you said, there's nothing I need to say more, except for at the end, what my hope is for every woman is that they realize that they've been serving everyone, yet being served the least, and they're able to say not anymore.
Yeah.
That is what I want. I thank you so much for just coming here and telling your story and being so real. You the kind of real that I need all the time. Okay? You the real when I'm walking around like, where they at? And so I just thank you. It was all God. He is not done with us. I feel like this is just the beginning. I'm so happy for what you are doing, and your work. Your music is beautiful. The voice, okay? And so there's so much more. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you everyone watching.
I will see you soon, girl. Bye.